What's going on, everyone? Nick Gambaro, Stefan Martinez here. A lot to get into.
Yeah.
A little bit of football. Of course, we have our show tomorrow where we really do a deeper dive. But a lot going on in the NFL as usual. The World Series last night. You also got the NBA and NHL trying to figure out when they're going to start their seasons. And also, too, I got some soccer for you. The El Clasico is today. I got Man U Chelsea on right now, keeping an eye on that. A massive scoreline in the Dutch league. History was made. I'll get into all that later on. Serginho Dest makes his appearance in the El Clasico. We'll get into all of this. But we'll start with the football. And before I get into my little rant here, because I got a beef with Dave Rothenberg, something he said on his show on ESPN New York today. But Stefan, I know you have some news. We already heard about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley partying after a loss in Philly, and then with no masks, and the Giants players being sent home from the facility in East Rutherford today. And you also said the Raiders as well and some other teams. So fill us in.
Right. So, the Giants, they didn't know that Saquon and Daniel Jones would party until late in the night until they saw the Instagram story of the DJ who posted the link of the partying in the middle of a pandemic. Can somebody please, for the life of me, explain? Oh, and you want to hear the funny part? They were listening to the Meek Mill record. Hold up, wait a minute. You just lost to the Eagles, and you bumping Meek? L. You see the L?
That's really a bad look. That's a terrible look.
L, fam.
No masks. You're out during a pandemic. You're listening to the Eagles song.
You're listening to Meek, Philadelphia born and bred, and they just broke your hearts on a comeback win. Oh, by the way, Saquon Barkley, right? Let's just get into Saquon Barkley. You're supposed to be the leader of this football team. You're in your third year. You're hurt. You're supposed to be, getting yourself together.
Yeah.
And you drag your second-year quarterback to a club, right? And you taking selfies and putting it on
After a devastating loss to the Eagles, regardless, yes, they're both terrible football teams, but still, it's Eagles-Giants. This division is up for anybody to take, as crazy as that sounds. And oh my God, that's.
Listen, if you're Joe Judge today, you gotta just
live it.
You gotta be pulling your hair out.
Absolutely.
You gotta be pulling your hair out because what it shows is this: they have no respect for themselves.
Apparently not. For anybody else.
Because there's nowhere in the world, and I'm not saying you can't go out and have fun. I don't want to be the fun police or the moral police. Do what you do. I'm good with whatever you choose to do. But understand something. You going out and partying with no mask on, with your star running back who is injured, who's probably not going to play a game until the middle of next season.
Yeah.
The middle of next year. When, for all intents and purposes, I don't even know if you're going to be here next year. The quarterback. Now, I don't think it's that drastic, but there's some people who are saying that if the Giants have a chance to take a quarterback, they might draft the quarterback. So, what type of leadership are you showing from the quarterback position and from the running back position, who's supposed to be your star player?
Yeah.
Putting your quarterback in that type of position. It just doesn't make sense to me. Especially when, as you mentioned, the Raiders, all these teams, their practice facilities are closing. What sense does this make to me? Can somebody help me out? Big Dog, can you help me out?
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't.
And it shows where these guys' heads are. Mike said it a couple nights ago when we had him on the show. Shout out to Mike again.
Yes.
He was great. He said, these guys don't care, man. These guys are just happy making their money. They're happy doing what they're doing. They don't have, there is no moral compass to get better at your craft. It's about once you get a name, once you develop a name, once people know who you are, that's it. It's over. And Saquon had a good rookie year. Everybody knows who he is. And he's just living off of that cachet. Daniel Jones had a good few games, but let's not act like Daniel Jones is
right.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying it's frustrating.
About themselves.
That's the key thing.
And don't care about, I guess, their teammates, even their family, because God forbid they caught it while they were out at the club and bring it home.
And they didn't even have masks around their necks. They had nothing on. Nothing on. The idiocy. I don't understand it. Anyway, speaking of one idiot franchise, let's go to the other idiot franchise. Speaking of idiots, don't you have a rant?
Yes, and just to go back to the Giants quick, and then I'll go on my mini rant here. I don't know how crazy it'll get, but we'll see. No, but and just when I was texting a coworker who's a big Giant fan, and I was like, just when I thought like the Giants were like, oh, I think that even though they've been losing, like they're competitive, they're in games, they seem like they're in the right direction. Joe Judge doesn't seem that horrible of a coach yet. Daniel Jones, the turnovers, but even you told me, and you're not the biggest Jones guy, but you're like, man, look at the legs on this kid, and he, special plays he made were spectacular the other night.
Right.
But is what it is. So I'm in the car this morning running errands, got the radio on, and Dave Rothenberg, I'm listening. I'm not the biggest Rothenberg guy, but I'll listen to him every now and then. And he talking about the Jets and how Jet fans, this is what he said, that if you don't watch the Jets now, don't come to me and don't start watching when they're 11-5, when they're in a playoff hunt. First of all, and look, at some point, let's break this down. Like, I understand. I'm a diehard fan of teams. You're a diehard fan of teams.
Mm-hmm.
But when a team is this terrible and this bad to watch, how can you expect – listen, if you want to watch your Giants – and granted, like I said, they're in every game. They're making games competitive. But let's say he's a psycho, though. If the Giants were in the Jets' position playing like them, he'd probably still watch because he's sick, Rothenberg. We both know that. Mm-hmm. The things LaGreca has said about him and other guys on that station. But anyway.
Listen, the story about his wife being sick and not taking her to the ER because Giants.
That right there for me is.
You need mental health, Rothenberg.
Yeah, 1,000%. But how can you expect me to sit through an entire season of Jet football and watch every single game? And listen, I get it, living through the torture and living through every game and the struggles. Listen, I've been doing that for years since I'm little.
Right.
I've been doing that year after year after year when they're 4-12,
right.
5-11, 6-10, or 7-9, 3-13. Like, but how much more can a person take? I don't think we always say that you got to go through the struggles, but you know what? That is at some point, how much can you possibly handle? I don't think you're a bad fan if you go on a little hiatus for a while and then come back when they're good. And if I get knocked for that, then too bad.
Yeah.
Rothenberg, you're a moron. I don't, and you brought up the point to me earlier. Now, he still watches every game, But Ira's checked out. He knows what this season is. Ira from Staten Island. Shouts out to him. The Pope of all Jet fans, besides Joe Beningo. They checked out. Now, they're still psychos, I think, for watching every single Jet game. But if you're a Jet fan and don't watch, I wouldn't say, oh, you're not a real Jet fan. No, because I get it. I'm not doing it either. After the Denver loss, I haven't watched the Jets. So, you know what, Rothenberg? Whatever. You're not even a Jet fan, so you shouldn't even talk about Jet fans anyway. Just stick with the Giants. But, no, I mean, do you agree? I'm sorry, I can't expect Jet fans to sit through this entire season and watch.
First of all, you know how I feel. You know how I feel about this subject. I do it with the Knicks every single season.
Right, if the Knicks are like 6-20 or 6-25, hypothetical record, how can you watch? Yes, their season's longer, but I think by that point you already know the Knicks aren't going anywhere. So what's the point? Now our friend Ray, shouts out to Big Ray. He watches every game, all 82, even when the Knicks are horrendous.
I hear you. But the only reason why I watched a little bit more last year is because I wanted to see RJ Barrett develop. I wanted to see the young boys develop and Mitchell Robinson. So you watch a little bit more to see what you can get out of the two. But to expect me to sit through all 82 games of that garbage, you're bugging.
And another thing, and I brought this up to you as well before the show. A Jet fan called in and said, the only reason I'm watching Jet games is to, like when he's playing, is to see Darnold's development. I'm sorry, that's another idiotic statement because Darnold can't be productive in this offense. He can't. Not allowed to audible at the line. He can't call plays on his own. He has nobody to throw to, an offensive line that still sucks. But the one smart thing Rothenberg did say today, which that's a rarity, like Michael Kay, very few times either of them make smart comments or statements, but Joe Douglas deserves some blame. And I brought this up weeks ago on one of our shows. I think this draft, and he said the same thing that I said when the draft happened, the fact that this guy only drafted one wide receiver is pathetic. How can you only draft one wide receiver? One. And you pass over CeeDee Lamb. I don't understand. I really don't. Now, I get you wanting to get Mekhi Becton. You need the whole line. Cool. But when you're in the first round, you had the pick ahead of Dallas. We had the 11th pick. They had, I think, the 19th pick. Go wide receiver. Then you could go offensive line. Come on, man. Now, I understand offensive line's important. We don't want Darnold to get killed. God forbid, because the way that old line protects him, he's going to get destroyed. He already has. He's injured every year. But arguably, and you're the college football savant, right? Would you say that CeeDee Lamb was probably the best wide receiver in this year's draft? Or in the top 5?
Yes.
What's up, Alan? I mean, come on. Denzel Mims hasn't been on the field once. Perriman, he ain't good. And then James Crowder, everyone talks him up. Come on. And I love Peter Rosenberg. I'm a big Rosenberg guy, but I get he's a Washington football fan, so he loves Crowder, but Crowder's like a number 3. He's not a number 2 or a 1.
On a good team, yeah, right.
You said the same thing, so
right. Yeah.
Like, whatever. My point is, Jet fans, you're not fake if you don't watch Jet games this year. Or, hell, even next year, depending on the situation. It's okay.
Right.
And you know what? Joe Douglas, I think he deserves a lot of blame. Not as much as Gase of the ownership, but I'm sorry.
Alan, I disagree with you on that. Crowder is a number. There's no way I'm looking at Jason Crowder and calling him a number 1. There's no way. So
I'm not saying he's a scrub. I think he's decent. He's okay, but
to me, he's a slot receiver. He's nothing more than a slot receiver. But that's just me. When I look at number one, I see DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
I see I see
Julio
Julio
Jones.
Jones,
Odell.
Juice, Jarvis Landry. Those are number one wide receivers. I see Jamison Crowder. He's a good route runner. But in all actuality, if you want to get technical, he's like Golden Tate. It's the same type of player. Golden Tate is a good wide receiver, but in Seattle, he was never the number one wide receiver.
No, but I think Golden Tate's a lot better than Jamison Crowder.
That's a fair point. If you want to go there, that's a fair point.
Now, again, you can say he had Russell Wilson, so of course that makes him a hell of a lot better. But I always liked Golden Tate. I always thought he was a solid player.
He's tough.
What's up, Emilio?
Golden Tate is tough, and that's why I think he was always going to work with the Giants, because he has a toughness to him that is what they need. But I never saw him like that though. Like Le'Veon Bell, we always knew Le'Veon Bell was an animal.
Le'Veon Bell and Jamison Crowder, that's
a steep comp. That's steep, bro.
Bell is
because watch, he's gonna go to Kansas City, Le'Veon. He's gonna light it up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and Bell, no offense again to Crowder, but him compared to Bell, that's a hard comparison.
Right.
Bell was going to go to the Hall of Fame. If he stayed in Pittsburgh, look at those numbers, Stephen, that he put up.
There you go. Average. What did he average? Like 5.5 yards a carry?
At least
5.5 yards a carry, easy. And I find it hard when people say, "Hey, man, you guys are just killing the Jets because it's popular." We don't want to kill the Jets. He's a Jet fan. This guy loves their football team.
I'm Jet boy, killing them.
Exactly. And so this is my thing. Like, Alan, I want to go back to your point of Jamison Crowder. I could give you 15 wide receivers, maybe 10 to 15 wide receivers I'm putting before Jamison Crowder. Odell Beckham, DeAndre Hopkins, Jarvis Landry, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders,
even DK Metcalf in Seattle,
Devontae Adams. So you want me to keep going? I mean, I can keep going. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't.
Amari Cooper. I know you don't really like him, but he's a great wide receiver.
They all have good QB.
They do.
Well, wait a minute. I take offense to the fact that you're calling Baker Mayfield a good QB. That's offensive to me as a Brown fan. That's offensive. That is absolutely offensive. Nah, T.Y.
Hilton's a beast.
Nah, I can't go there, dog. I can't. Look, Jamison Crowder. Look, Jamison Crowder is, to me, he is. If I could make a comp, Big Dog, who would be your comp? If you could make a comp to somebody right now in football, like who's the wide receiver? Who's the closest wide receiver you see him that you make a comparison to?
To who?
Crowder. Yeah. I would say Robbie Anderson, but Robbie Anderson's balling.
Yeah. Ingram on the Giants?
Maybe. But at least Jamison Crowder tries to catch the ball. Unlike Evan Ingram with his alligator arms. I can't reach.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know, man. I never saw Jamison Crowder as a number one wide receiver. I that was never me, and I've watched a decent amount of football. Like, I'm not a nut like this guy. I just started getting back into it.
Been watching it for 40 years. 40. That's the worst offensive line I've ever seen. Anyone who hasn't seen that LaGreca rant, the
Pythagorean theorem?
Yeah. Oh, great.
You know what? We're gonna put.
It's great.
We're gonna put the link of that YouTube rant.
You should, yes.
So after the show is done, me and Big Dog will post the link to the social media pages.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
yo, can somebody get him? Look at his face.
Remember the
beat
microphone
red.
breaks? This is garbage. Fix that. And he walks out of the studio.
No, it's disconcerting, man, when you
It
see
is.
the state of New York football, especially with the Jets and Rothenberg. Let me just explain something to you, all right? You've seen 4 Super Bowls in your lifetime. You have no right to confetch, complain, do
He
anything
was doing a
about
lot of that today, and all the Giant fans.
you have no right to do anything. You know why? You've seen 4 Super Bowls.
I was
And
thinking
then
the same thing.
you should be happy you saw those 4 Super Bowls and empathize with the Jet fan who's been suffering for their entire
And
life.
then he says, which, okay, yeah, it's kind of a point, but still the Jets are the Jets. He goes, oh, because another fan called in, like, oh, I've been a fan for like 30 years or whatever, or a season ticket holder for that one. And, you know, oh, I've only seen bad football out of the Jets. And then Rothenberg's like, no, you didn't. You made 3 AFC championships and did, look, and okay, the 2000s, we did make the playoffs pretty consistently, but still,
Bro,
it's so much worse being a Jet fan than a Giant fan. It is.
4 championships. All right, look, 4 championships. 4 to what? 6 of playoff appearances in the last 15 years? Less?
And 3 championship games that you didn't even show up in, right? That game in Pittsburgh, they didn't show up. Against Indy, they didn't show up. And you blew a 3-0 lead in Denver in 98.
Don't tell me nothing about, oh, well, you had 6. You won 4 chips, bro. 4 chips. This guy's waiting for his first. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So I'm supposed to take you seriously, Rothenberg. I'll play along, and you're a Jet fan, and I'm empathizing with you because that's just garbage. That's garbage. That's absolute garbage. What? That's why I don't listen to New York radio. That's why, because stupid things like that. I'm out. I'm all the way out. What Beyonce said to the left? Yeah, to the left. I'm out. To the left, dogs. We out of here. What? Okay. All right. And I'm not even a Jet fan, and I'm ranting about this. That's how bad it is.
The fact that Giant fans complain is so amazing. The fact that fans complain is astounding. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't.
Are you kidding me?
And he was alive for all 4. And the Giants were in the Super Bowl in 2000 against the Ravens,
and got obliterated.
I'm trying to think if they appeared in any others and lost.
No, they went to what in 2002 they lost to the Niners in the wild card.
Yeah.
And remember they were up big and they blew the lead.
Yeah, Don McGregor is still scarred by that, he says.
I am too. I cried the whole night. Next day, I was in a Tiki Barber jersey like a psycho. Jesus.
Man, that was like me with 06. How I wore Met stuff the next day, I don't know.
Listen, that's like Yankee Red Sox. Freaking, are you kidding me? And you got the nerve or the noise for everything in Jersey. You got the noise to complain.
You got the words.
What a joke.
All right. I'll tell you. Okay. Are you kidding me?
Same area.
Just And then we're moving on. I promise. This is the last point, and then we'll move on because we got a bunch of other stuff we want to get into. But Big Dog, help me with this a minute. I come to you for these things.
Okay.
Because you're, when as a Jet fan, have you started a season saying we got a legit shot to win the Super Bowl? Where you were genuinely excited for football. Now you're excited anyway because you're a mental case. But when you were genuinely excited for football, where you were like, "Oh my God, can't wait, can't wait." When's the last time? 10 years ago?
Yeah, or even 16 and 15. Well, 15, we really didn't know what Fitzy was. But going into that, we laugh about it, but that 2016 season, I really thought, because they didn't get rid of anybody, they brought Fitzy back. So I'm thinking, all right, you have the same team pretty much. Look at what they did last year offensively and defensively. But
right,
they wet the bed. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, going into that 2010 season, probably all Jet fans were stoked and thought we actually had a shot at the Super Bowl. But realistically, I mean, it's very hard to even be confident as a Jet fan. You can't.
Right.
You can't.
Oh, man.
Whatever, man.
Poor Big Dog, man.
I'm telling you, man, Jet fans, I'm sorry if I repeat. I apologize if I sound like a broken record, but mutiny. Don't watch them. Don't buy their stuff.
And then the unmitigated goal. I'm sorry, Rothenberg. Who made you the fan?
If fans are in the building next year are allowed, don't go to any games.
Oh,
please, for the love of God, don't. And you know what's funny too? And thinking, I know we're on the Jets, but as a Giant fan, how does that make you feel? The fact that your quarterback, who could be your future, your star running back,
right,
are celebrating. Well, not, but you know what I mean, going out, having a good time, blah, blah, blah.
At the club, listening to Meek Mill after losing to Philly.
In Philly, losing to Philly and listening to Philly's hype up song. Like, if I was a Giant fan, I would be beyond, and to your saying, they don't care. They really don't care.
Dogs, they don't. And people kill me when I make the statements of athletes don't care. All they care about is money. That's the prime example of why I say what I say. That's the prime example.
That's insane, man. Like, rivalries in the NFL, like they're a dying breed. Seriously. And the NBA.
There ain't no rivalries in the league because everybody's buddy. Everybody got the same agent. Everybody, they know each other. They're all cool. Rivalries are dead. Those days are gone where you hate Philly, you hate the Cowboys, you hate the Redskins, and you see Odell and Dez swapping jerseys after games. I'm like, yo, what? Just sickening stuff, man. And then, for me as a sports fan, I wish that, the fan perspective gets put on so people see, damn, I watch all these games and I wear the gear, I buy the gear, and I'm there every year watching, just in it, hoping that they turn it around. What do they do for me? Nothing.
Exactly.
You know why? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the athletes themselves.
Right.
It sucks to say it, but that's just the truth. Speaking of the athletes themselves, so the NBA and the NBA PA are scheduled to meet multiple times in the coming weeks to decide what they're gonna do, if Christmas Day is applicable, if that's actually doable. Several sources on both sides have said, yeah, maybe not. I know the players union's fighting it. The players union actually wants to start the season mid-2021. However, Adam Silver's whole thing is, if we do that, we're not getting a 60 to 70 game season in. So we might have to start on Christmas Day and work our way down from there. this is the hard part where it becomes about, business, which I know you hate, but I'll just be quick and say this.
Mm-hmm.
If the NBA starts on Christmas Day or close to Christmas Day,
Right.
you're hey
What's up?
now. You can lose maybe 300 to 500 million dollars for not starting at a certain point, which brings me to the point of what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Like, eventually you're going to have to make a decision. Honestly, they should do what the NHL is doing in the sense of look at everything for what it is.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. Enjoy. Um, it seems as though they just I don't know. I just wish it was a little more simpler where both sides can just agree, listen, we're not gonna have the perfect season. Plus, they want to get everything finished by the Olympics, which is the same thing that same, which is the same thing that yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, the NBA in the 90s, 80s, I mean, you know very well. And
Oh,
I
the
mean,
beautiful
back
days.
when a rivalry was a rivalry.
Well, you couldn't yo, Pat Riley used to fine Charles Oakley for going out with Jordan before the game.
I love it.
You ain't going out with Mike. You ain't gonna let him sweet talk you off the court. Hey, yo, you my dog. I like you, man. You could do on the court. He's just ripping your heart out of your body.
And same in the NFL, right, Emilio? You don't ever remember players hanging out with each other like Philly and
No.
Dallas or Philly and the Giants or Bears Packers.
Right.
No way.
All right. You took it as disrespect when they beat you. You know what I mean? Like it was disrespectful when you
Now
lost.
it's like, oh, it's all
to-
right. Let's grab a beer after the game.
There you go. You know why? Because it's all about relationships and being close to each other. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. In the off season, if you want to work out together, cool. If you want to be buddy in the off season, cool. But during the season, when you're in between the lines, nah, I don't need you to be buddy. I need y'all to go fight and be involved for your team. Don't give anybody no edge
Right.
or no advantage. NFC's blood.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day. Woo!
As the kids say today, you don't want none of that NFC smoke. They ain't want you ain't
Back in the day,
want
it
none
was
of that.
actually like a respectable division. Not anymore. And you can say those were probably the best rivalries back in the day. Any of those teams play each other. Washington, Dallas, Washington, Philly,
Oh, yeah.
Philly against anybody because nobody likes them. Same thing with
Hard hitting.
hard hitting. Oh my
Oh,
god!
I still remember when Brian Dawkins lit up Amani Tuma at a game in Philly, lit him up over the middle.
And then just like, oh, the Jets lost to their hated rival Miami. Yo, that ain't really a rivalry anymore. It used to be when both of them were good. And Dan
The
Marino
Jets
with the Dolphins.
The Jets can't claim no more rivalries, dog. You were the doormats of the NFL. You can't claim no more rivalries. It's just it's sad,
Even
man. And
the
then
Dolphins Jets. Yesterday was the 20-year anniversary of the Monday Night Miracle.
Jumbo Elliott, I'm sticking at you.
Yeah, I retweeted something on the page. They put up highlights and I was weeping.
Oh, back to his glory years, yes.
Those are my boys.
Oh,
Vinny, Curtis Matt.
caught a touchdown. He was in his glory. He was like,
Just the fact the Jets came back from that, I mean, being down by that much in the fourth quarter and won in overtime.
By the way, you want to hear a crazy stat? So they scored 4 touchdowns in the last 17 minutes of the game. They scored 4 touchdowns on 5 offensive possessions the whole year.
Yeah,
The whole year.
they
Like, what?
they suck.
What? Yo, it's like, wait. Wait, explain this one to me. Oh, Bengals versus Brown.
Oh yeah, back in that NFC North too. I mean, my God.
No.
Although this year on Thanksgiving, Steelers Ravens, that's gonna be the NBC game at night. Woo! Although I'm sorry, the first game, Texans Lions, take a nap during that one because.
Listen, start hitting the eggnog around like 11:30.
Yeah, a little bit.
So by halftime, eggnog by like 11:30. Start hitting it.
Yeah. But yeah, old Browns, Bengals, Browns, Steelers back in the day. Woo!
Oh,
Back when you guys had Bernie Kosar and way back with Jim Brown, all them boys. Oh my God. The Steelers, Steel Coyton.
when football was football.
Yeah. Those were the days.
So I just hope the NBA comes back relatively soon. I don't want to rush it. And then I gotta get into this. Can we get in? I usually don't do Nick rants on the show, but I gotta do a Nick rant because I saw something. There you go. I saw something yesterday on Hootsuite that was written by, I forgot the author's name. While Chris Paul is a good trade for the Knicks, and I'm like, no, you didn't just write that, did you? Like, that didn't just come out of your mouth, did it? Like,
yeah, but they.
Paul, no. First of all, with the Knicks' luck, Chris Paul will come to New York and pull a hamstring getting off the plane and won't play a game as a Knick. He'll play 20 games as a Knick. We'll see him on Christmas. He'll get hurt. We won't see him again till Easter.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, white lion.
I'm not doing that. No way am I doing that. And then to hear, oh, well, you're just too pessimistic. You see who I root for?
There's no hope, bro. No hope if you're a Jet or a Knick fan. Which Joe Benigno is, unfortunately.
Do you see who I root for? I'm gonna say this. They're gonna trade Kevin Knox. They're gonna trade Kevin Knox. They're gonna trade all these guys, and they're gonna turn into superstars. Superstars. And what I'm gonna be left with? A 90-year-old Chris Paul that can't move. Tell me where this is a good idea. Tell me. And then, you hear Knicks fans, oh, you got to start somewhere. He'll bring good culture. I don't need culture when you're 90 and always hurt. I'm out. Oh, by the way, he's making close to $90 million over the next 2 years. Not 30, not 40, not 50, 90. $90 million over the next 2 years.
Yeah, not gooch.
Knicks fans, don't fall for this, Knicks fans. Don't do this.
They do it every time.
Don't do this. Nah, you see, that's the difference. I'm scarred. I'm scarred so bad that if I see something good, I run from it because I'm afraid it's going to come here and it's going to, like Tom Thibodeau. I'm afraid. Tom Thibodeau's going to come here. He has a stunning reputation. He's a decent coach. And it's just going to all go to the crapper.
Oh, shit.
Or more like Western New York, the crapper.
Yorkshire gag.
He'll be right back.
Crap. You got news there.
Okay.
I was just gonna get into the hockey a little bit for next year.
Right.
And I want you to bring up the geographical part that you wanted to ask me. But I just wanted to read if you may let me, just a few tweets from my boy Elliot Friedman
Oh, Soviet Jew.
from yesterday on his Twitter. So the NHL and its GMs finished their meeting last hour. Things to know. No certainty about starting date format for the 2020-21 season. Too many unknowns, border, etc. to commit to anything, although conversations with NHLPA return to play committee should begin in next while. Okay? There is an appetite to begin next season with something special from a unique site. So not a Winter Classic, but something kind of interesting here. Lake Louise was discussed, but that won't be possible. But that's the kind of idea that's being brainstormed. So like kind of a pond hockey game, which that'd be kind of amazing. January 1st remains the target date, as the NHL indicated yesterday, but again, no guarantees. So that was from, shouts out to Elliot Friedman, one of the best in the biz.
And I've heard similar things because, as I said to you this morning, early January is the start date. Now they're talking about January 1st. They're talking about maybe January 5th. They have a whole bunch of different scenarios being lined up. One thing I did hear, which is interesting, is them having a game on the Intrepid, outdoor hockey game on the Intrepid for like Army and naval officers and playing on the ship.
That'd be cool.
Building an ice rink on the ship. I'm with that. If you can make that work, that'll be epic. Epic. It's just, you got to give the NHL credit for thinking outside the box and thinking about ideas that are going to start the season with a bang, especially if, we're going to keep having these COVID protocols and people are going to be dealing with different sorts of issues. You got to give the NHL some credit for being aware of, okay, we have to make it so that people in the sport recognize that we're going to do this. We want to get everybody involved. We want to get everybody tuned in. And that's a good way to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gary Bettman and the whole NHLPA, I think, are going to get this right again. They really seem to be on the same page and, of course, want to keep the players and staff safe is number one priority. And they want to do something special for the fans. They really care about the fans. And, so I think it's going to be awesome. I think they're going to come up with an idea. And the interesting thing, though, Stefan, and we were talking about it earlier, is now how many games are they going to play? Because they keep saying they want a full 82-game season, but I just don't think it's possible, especially since they don't want to go deep into the summer again. So I really thought, and you as well, I know the NBA said like a 72-game season, but I would love like a 66-game season or 68, something around there. You were saying the same thing.
The interesting thing about the NBA is that 72 games that's pushing it.
Yes.
That's going to be hard to do, especially with the Olympics and everything that they want to get into a full calendar year.
Yeah.
That's going to be really hard. I don't necessarily know if it's feasible to assume that it's going to be able to get done. I think they're moving a bit too quick. I think for the NHL, 66 games is perfect. And the reason why is, if you're going to do it in regional pods, which is what both leagues have discussed at certain points,
yes,
it seems easier to do it that way rather than just say, oh, let's play for all 72 games and hope for the best.
That's hard. Yeah, to start the season, I think regional bubbles. Now, again, there is the border issue with the NBA, with the Raptors, and the NHL, with all 7 Canadian teams. And then,
so check this out. I have an idea. How about we put the Raptors in the Midland Arena in Buffalo? Let them play. Let them play their home games at Buffalo this year,
Mhm.
or play their home games at the at the Izod Center in Jersey.
They could do that.
The Raptors, they're the one team that is geographically like impossible right now.
It's
So
hard.
them in Buffalo probably makes sense because everybody else is local. Nets,
Yeah.
Knicks,
And I know
Celtics.
they would. I think Buffalo would be cool, like they did with the Blue Jays, because at least, again, in my geographical thinking mind, that's
Oh,
right
Buffalo.
close to Toronto, and it makes sense.
Yeah,
But
right.
the Izod Center is vacant. Nobody plays there. It's just, I don't even think anything even goes on there anymore, like concerts and circuses and stuff.
But I'm well,
It is
nothing
vacant.
now because of Veto. But right.
But now the interesting thing is, and this was an idea thrown around, it would be sick, but it'd be kind of hard. The MLS did it when they restarted the regular season. They only had the Canadian teams play each other. Like no American teams came in, and the Canadian teams didn't leave the country. But there was a like all Canadian division, which would be kind of crazy to have all the Canadian teams play each other multiple times. You know, I mean, and Canada has less numbers than us. You know, they're doing a better job at containing the virus than us. You know, can the NHL somehow have bubbles in each Canadian city where a few teams from the US can go? It's kind of hard. That's an idea. Or do you wait to see what November, December brings and then see in which cities? Go ahead.
No, right. That's something that the NBA is also contemplating too. Is if we start this and then things have to get shut down because the virus is spreading in certain cities,
right?
Like, how do we manage this? And this is why the pod idea makes sense, where you take 4 teams per pod or 6 teams per pod, and you put them in these pods, and you let them play the games that way.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily think doing it any other way makes sense.
No,
to me,
I agree.
Because you're still going to have the problem with travel. You're still going to have issues with, is this feasible for us to travel back and forth? It just seems like a very huge risk. This is why, and I give us credit because we were bringing this up before anybody else mentioned it, from what I remember. Do it where you do it by region.
It makes total sense. You have a Northeast bubble, a Southwest bubble,
right?
You know, and so on. A Central bubble,
right?
I mean, makes sense.
Everything is going to be contained, especially if it's still if everything's going on around you. Now, you would have to pick one arena. You would have to pick. Sure. See, I think the NFL is the only sport that can get away with a non-bubble sort of feel. I think everybody else has to be confined, which is why baseball. Notice they've been doing this bubble since the playoffs started.
Now I disagree with letting fans in, but that's their decision.
I mean, you gotta. I mean, if the NFL's doing it,
one pod: Knicks, Nets, Sixers, and Celtics. You could do that. You could pick one arena, like even for hockey too. You could have the Islanders, Rangers, Devils, Flyers, Bruins.
Yes. Right.
So,
and the thing is, it eliminates the need for excessive travel, because this is where it becomes an issue, is the excessive travel, because that's when things spread. That's when things could be a bit of an issue.
Right. Yeah.
And notice that baseball, it's been 55 days today, makes 55 days since they started this bubble format. No positive test from anybody
awesome.
in these bubbles.
That's great.
So that just goes to show you, till we have a handle on this thing, bubbles may be the way to go, because I'm not really sure.
It works.
I mean, you can't knock something that works. Look at how many games have been postponed in the NFL already, and we're nowhere near the winter
Not
month.
even up to even close to Thanksgiving yet. We're still a month away from
Right. How about mid-November when it's friggin' freezing outside?
Yeah. But yeah, and then you can have a set like I'm thinking now, like the Kings, Ducks, Coyotes, Vegas, Sharks in like one bubble.
Right.
All the Central teams in the Saints, you got all them. A Canadian division, that'd be, oh my God. That'd be awesome.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is, you see the NHL trophy, just leave it in one of those areas over there.
Talk about rivalries. Woo! Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Interesting bit of, I was thinking about this and I'm like, I gotta bring it up on the show because I want to know what you think as it relates to this topic. If you're baseball, if you get the season down to 90 games, 90, expanded playoffs for a month where you get rid of this seeding, just get rid of the seeding garbage. The seeding garbage got to go. It's garbage. Get rid of it and let's work on, getting back to just regular formatting. 90 games will be much more appealing. You get 45 home, 45 road,
you still want the best 4 teams in each league. You don't want 8 anymore.
Yeah, I don't want any of this garbage.
And I would do it by record, not wild card,
Right.
but again, we spoke about this numerous times. Emilio's brought up ideas as well about it.
Right.
I think that'd be cool.
Honestly, it should be the best of 8. Get the divisions out of here. Just give me the best 8 squads, and the best 8 squads that have been kicking behind all year, that's who makes it.
4 in the National League, 4 in the American League, and do 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3.
That's it. Get it out of here.
I think that's cool. No.
And if you wanna go to 12 teams, if you want 2 wild card rounds, then maybe, yeah. But other than that,
wild card, I guess you could if you want to do a 5th and 6th seed.
Yeah, because you know why they're doing this expanded wild card garbage? Money. Money. They're ruining my friggin' sport with this garbage. It's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, they got
the Astros 2 games below 500 made the CS.
It's like football, right? Look at the NFC East. Not for nothing, 6 and 10 could win your division this year. That's disgusting. That's why we're probably going to win. Get rid of the divisions. Get rid of them. Do the best. Well, now 7. See, I go back to 6 teams and not do 7, but whatever again, money. I would have did 1 versus 6, 2 versus 4, and whatever. And because
1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 5.
Right, remember the Seahawks, and then they beat the Saints with the earthquake game when Marshawn Lynch had that long run.
Beast mode, get out of my way. Oh.
Back when he was a young lad. But
yeah,
he was 7 and 9 and won the division.
Yeah. That's accurate. Speaking of accurate, Big Dog, you ready to lay the surprise on these people? You ready? You ready for the surprise gags? We got a surprise for you. Special announcement, though. Nick's Corner is debuting on this Thursday show. Now you might be wondering, what's Nick's Corner? What's that? What does that mean? Okay. Nick's Corner is where he's going to take 1 league, 12 plus. You know what? I'm with that. So Big Dog Nick's Corner is going to be affectionately known around these parts. Is basically going to be him taking your soccer and hockey questions and answering your questions for like 15 minutes at the end of Thursday shows. So if you have soccer questions, you have hockey questions, or you just want to comment about something that you want Big Dog's take on, that starts Thursday. We're gonna plug it. We're gonna put it at the top of the show. It's a special segment that's gonna be inside of the Nick and Steph show. So of course I'm gonna be thinking about questions for this guy, but this is a chance for you, the fans, to ask him questions, to get his feedback on things. And I'll make a little exception if you got a good food recipe, because this guy can eat, so can I. Drop them in that next corner to the box over there.
Well, you know.
So Big Dog was excited when I brought this up to him, so can't wait.
The Knicks. Or maybe that could be a time for me to rant. Who knows? Rants could be any time, but
Yo, that freaking Rothenberg.
That's still wrong with you, right?
What is wrong with you, you psycho mental case idiot? What is wrong with you? He's won 4 Super Bowls, and he has the goal to complain. I'm never gonna get over that. I'm not getting over that. I'm sorry. That's just unfathomable.
A little bit there. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, tweet from Rose. Woj. I'm sorry. So interesting. I don't know if you saw this, but Amari Stoudemire is going to be a head coach for Steve Nash with the Nets. He's also trying to get Dirk to be his lead assistant, but the big Germans
I love Dirk. One of my favorite basketball. I'm not a big basketball guy, but
yeah, Doink. Yeah.
And he's from Deutschland, so when I'm a bit German,
yeah,
I got love for the dude.
Oh yeah, but I can't root for him if he coaches the Nets. That's like sacrilegious, and I love them because he took that championship from LeBron, so he'll always be good with me. I'm bitter. What do you want from me?
No, listen. We need the sports hate a little mad.
Little man.
And the fanboy. We need to get out of you more. You're too buttoned up.
I try. You gotta be a little bit more. Interesting little trade news here.
Okay.
Would you be shocked to see? Because I'm hearing rumors that Odell to the Niners actually has some legs. Odell to the Niners for my Browns would be very good. Very good. Because I'm at the point where, I love the young brother, but
I'm hearing Michael Thomas may be traded, which
yeah.
Odell with the Saints, and he's from Louisiana. Well, damn.
God damn. Right.
I mean, that ain't happening, but that could be a destination for him.
I'm hearing Julio to the Bears possibility. Julio to the Bears.
The Bears.
No, that's his boys. Chicago.
Chicago.
Chicago. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap up. I was your for Big Dog. You had something?
Yes.
Soccer. Yes. He wants to get soccer. More soccer.
Cut me off.
I'm sorry.
I'm not kidding. Okay. Guys against soccer, I guess. I don't know. No, it's very quick. So Serginho Dest, who just signed from Ajax, he went to Barcelona.
Isn't it the 19-year-old that was like, yeah,
listen to that. He is the first American to play in the 118-year history.
You hear this garbage? You Steelers? You hear this garbage? Your Steelers are in on
Emilio starting it up.
Listen, Don't start. Don't start with that garbage. Anyway,
I mean, you can't blame him though. You can't. Come on, you can't blame
I
him.
mean, I can't knock him. No, I got a very interesting take on the Steelers though. The Steelers are actually they've talked about Julio Jones. They've talked about you know here's another interesting name that's out there that I think would be out there, but he's out there
Mm-hmm.
for trade. Is Stephon Diggs from
Wow.
the Bills. I didn't think he would be out there, but he's out there for the right price. So, but get to your soccer point, Big Dog. I don't mean to cut you off.
All good. So Serginho Dest is the first American to play in the 118-year history of El Clasico, which for those of you that don't know what El Clasico is, it is the rivalry between Real Madrid and Barcelona. So when that's been going on for 118 years.
He said that was a player.
He did play well today. Looked comfortable. Played well. No goals, no assists, but Real Madrid, they ended up winning 3-1 at the Nou Camp in Barcelona. Real is in first with 13 points, and Barcelona is in 10th place with 7 points. So Barca looking kind of on the and I mean, with all the drama in the summer, remember we were talking about it ad nauseum with Messi and then the president and the new coach. It's all
right
in Barca. Man U and Chelsea tied. They drew 0-0. And in the Dutch league, which really doesn't get talked about, the Eredivisie, it's called. Listen to this scoreline. Ajax, who is basically they're in Amsterdam. They're basically the Yankees of Dutch soccer, if you will. They're the Steelers or Patriots. Just the most successful team in the country's league. They beat Venlo. The club's name is 13-0, which is 0. 13.
Damn, there's no mercy rule?
The zilch. Nada.
Yo, what?
The last big win in the Eredivisie also was by Ajax over Vitesse. I believe that's how you pronounce it. 12-1. 12-1 in 1972. So I guess in the Dutch league, there's no mercy rule.
Well, damn.
No, that deserves a well, god damn.
Yeah.
13-0 and 12-1 Ajax have won by.
Yo, I'd have quit. I'd have walked up the pitch, dog. I'd have been like, yo.
God. I mean, for the
as we like to say, well, ball. Well, damn.
Four lines, and then we'll get going. The Premier League, Leeds United beat Aston Villa 3-0 yesterday. Right now, Liverpool playing Sheffield United. That's 8 minutes into the game, 0-0. West Ham draws with Man City 1-1. Fulham loses to Crystal Palace 2-1. Tomorrow, you got Southampton, Everton, Wolves, Newcastle. Actually, where the lead singer of AC/DC is from, Brian Johnson.
Oh, nice.
Huge Newcastle United supporter.
Nice.
Arsenal, shouts out to him and AC/DC. Big fan. And you got Arsenal, Leicester tomorrow. And then Monday, my boys are in action, Tottenham against Burnley. See, I should have did all these in a British accent.
Oh.
And Brighton and West Brom. So, I could put it on a little bit. I could do a pretty solid British accent if you like me to. Whenever I do my football segment or soccer segment, there should be a thing. No, I should do it. I feel like it's only right. I pronounce the Spanish names with the accent, the Dutch names, the way, they would pronounce the German. You know, I do the
Right.
Hamburg, and so I think that's
That's-
a gotta do it next time.
Hey man, maybe that sets us apart. That sets us apart. I like that. I'm a fan of this.
Liverpool, Manchester United. Oh, I could go on and on. But we're gonna wrap up. We got a huge football preview tomorrow. I mean, Titans Steelers tomorrow, Raiders Bucks, Seahawks Cardinals. Monday night, my boy Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears are in action against the Rams. Two stout defenses going up against each other. That should be intriguing. Two solid offenses. Don't bother watching the Jets tomorrow, for the love of God. Jet fans, don't listen to Rothenberg. Don't listen to nobody. Don't watch the Jets. Message from me. Don't watch. Please.
They don't deserve it.
They don't. I texted you that last week. They don't deserve my viewership. They don't.
You're on to something there, lad. Anyway. And my Browns, hopefully they win by the skin of their teeth.
Browns,
but I'm not.
Battle of Ohio tomorrow. Massive game in the state.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too good.
Going up against Joey Burrow.
Joey Bosborough.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. You know, they're not that bad. They're not that bad.
They're competitive, man. Joey Burrows, they've been keeping them in games here.
Cincinnati kid, Joey Burrow.
But yeah, Emilio Steelers 5-0 against Tennessee Titans 5-0. Tannehill. Oh my God.
Let's go Titans, baby.
That game's gonna be nuts. That game, hold on. That game's got to be on regular TV, no?
That got to be.
Probably not, because the Jets are on against the Bills, so they're probably. Oh my God! That's a travesty. That's a travesty. Hold on, I'm looking just before we go for the people, or at least
all I say is thank God for Red Zone, because.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's what I'm watching tomorrow.
Red Zone.
Oh my God. That's atrocious. I'm like, oh. Because you know the Bills.
The Jet game's at 1 o'clock, too?
Yes. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Bills and Jets. Oh, my God. Man, no Fox game at 1 o'clock. But at 4 o'clock, you got the Bucks and Raiders on Fox.
The Raiders.
And then the 49ers at Patriots at 5. The Romo Nance game. That right? That's another juicy matchup. I forgot about that one. Yo, but CBS, if you're watching this, for me and this lad, for the love of all that is holy, do not, in the New York tri-state area, do not show Bills Jets, please. Like, that game should be blacked out.
Oh.
Two 5-0 teams, but you're playing Jets Bill. That right? Like you say, Stefan, I'll play along. That right?
Okay, sure.
Oh my God! But we out. Talk to you guys later, Stefan. This was fun, man. Look at him.
Yes, sir.
His work. Look at this guy. He don't stop. We got breaking news before we sign off.
Yeah, we actually do.
What happened?
It looks like Julio Jones he's close to being traded somewhere. I'm trying to find out where.
Come on,
I'm hearing it's,
come on, Chicago.
I'm hearing it's down to the Ravens and the Bears.
Oh my God.
So
Lamar. Yeah, I can do accents all day. Chicago, honesty.
All right.
Later.
All right, man. Later.